Hello, Facebook friends. This is Althea Gray, and I am a healer and a professional clearer, an inventor of many things that help people live and thrive and heal better in the world. And I'm doing this incredible each week, a Facebook live series on things that we cover as professional clearers. So I'm excited to say that I'm offering my fourth year of professional clearing and a professional clearers master, certified master course. And so uh, it is now ready for you to sign up and let me know if you'd like to. So I hope you enjoy this series. People need to be informed that the unseen world involves so many things that we just tend to think of as ghosts or dead people and spells and curses, but there's so much more. And these things do affect people's lives and how they thrive, whether they are well. And we tend to put it in the category of woo woo and paranormal. It is paranormal, but but it is a serious thing. So I've been taking it very seriously for the last 17 years, and I'm happy to share some of my knowledge with you. So today we're going to talk about something that probably a lot of you out there do, and I do it too. But I know how to resolve the issues that come up with, um, you know, going to garage sales. The intrepid treasure hunter, garage sales, thrift stores, antique shopping, flea markets. Oh, I think most people, or a lot of people, love treasure hunting. It's a modern day form of treasure hunting. And we love hoping to find the best find, something that's hidden away that's extremely valuable. And I have met people who have found things that were extraordinarily valuable in these little treasure hunts. And just recently, I posted the jacket, the infamous jacket that my own daughter found in a really kind of dusty thrift store in Savannah, Georgia, and she went crazy over it. It's a denim jacket and had leather embroidery on it and a little embroidered image on the back, and she just couldn't live without it, right? She had to have it. And so she bought it from this dusty little shop. And I think it was there a long time because of the size. My daughter's definitely fairy size. And so it was there for a while. So she was so excited, she decided to put it on right away because she's driving to a big show that she has up in Pennsylvania. And so she texted me and said, "Mom, the jacket's attacking me. I have to take it off. It's attacking me." Of course, she inherited a lot of my abilities. She's a healer herself and very in tune. And so when she got to her hotel room, she has a light ring, and she thought, "Oh, I'll just put it in the light ring, and it should, clean it up." Well, it started to, whatever was also wearing the jacket, decided to burst itself, push its energy out all through the room. Like, no, no, no. It was holding on to dear life. So at one moment, sometimes this can happen in the spirit world where something is really angry or wants to get something across, and they're able to produce enough energy to actually manifest itself for a second. And she saw it was a young man with blonde hair, like from the 70s. So she decided to go online and research and see some look. Maybe this jacket has some other kind of value. And she found out that this person named, let's see, his last name is Giuseppe. Antonio Giuseppe is a designer from the 1970s, Italian designer, and he made these incredible embroidered jean jackets. And I remember those embroidered jean clothing. And her treasure find, actually, which she bought for hardly anything, is worth actually $800. So this is like the treasure hunter's dream. You know, you find something that no one has realized what the value is, and you find it. But sometimes it comes with other things. So treasure hunting can be lots of fun, finding the missing piece of something, or you gotta have that collection. I used to love collecting 1960s Murano glass, and as some of you may know what that is, it's glass that's made in Murano, Italy. And in the 60s, they were very creative about it. And instead of making chickens and things like that, they made these beautiful glass pieces that look like works of art, and it has gold flecks in it. Of course, you know, I'm always working with gold. So I love collecting all those things. And then they all, except one piece, burned in a fire that I had in Malibu. And it taught me about being attached and collecting things. So, but that's another subject, about a spiritual subject about attachment and letting go. But this is about the things that we find. So I noticed that some of you wrote in some of the comment boxes that, oh, should I get rid of everything? You know, I don't go treasure hunting because I'm aware of that, and I can understand the fear, because if you don't know how to deal with it, you can actually bring things, and I've done it, I'm speaking from experience, brought things into my house that has opened either gateways to something, or brought in a person attached to the item, and then what happens, the energy, the space goes down enough so that it invites other things to come in. And I've done all that. And if you go to any thrift store, or places like that, antique shops, you can feel the energy is kind of heavy. It's heavy because it's loaded with things. But there is a way to clear all that so that you can enjoy and give your piece a new life, or help that person move on who's attached to the piece, which we will have to do with this infamous jean jacket. um, so it's, I don't want you all to think, oh my God, I shouldn't go treasure hunting, and I shouldn't, you know, buy these things. I want you to know, yes, you can. Um, be aware, and know how to clear it. Do what you can to clear it, or you hire a professional clearer who knows precisely how to clear it, so that you can enjoy your new find. So don't throw those things away. In fact, I find treasure hunters are probably really responsible for preserving how people live and history, because they collect these things, and they collect them so well. Real collectors love, you know, every part of, you know, a set of something, and they put it together. They spend years of their life putting things together and collections together, and so they're very important. These people are wonderful because they are preserving a part of another person's life, an artist, the way we lived at one time. The Victorians, for example, and their cutlery. Oh my God! A spoon for everything, a fork for everything. They had it was really pretty. We most of us just use a spoon, a fork, and a knife, where the Victorians had a whole array of things that they used to eat their meal. You wouldn't dare, you know, pick up a pickled item with the wrong fork, right? And in fact, today, even if you go to England, there's lots of different sized teaspoons, not just one size that we Americans use. So collectors help us understand how we lived and preserve history in some way. So it's not a bad thing. And don't throw those wonderful things away. They just need clearing so that they can have a new life and so that you can be protected as you are on your journey and putting things together. So, ah, what kind of things can things get attached to? And sometimes things are that get attached are not necessarily dead people. It could be entities. It can be even demonic forces. So, there is some awareness that should happen here. And so, they can attach to jewelry, furniture, glassware, clothing, as I've just discussed, anything. And you would not expect that. You mostly think of them attaching in a house, in a graveyard, land, but uh, it can come with things. So let's talk about doll collections and stuffed toys that people tend to collect, and then they sit in a nice little pile somewhere. Well, believe it or not, there's certain beings that like to hide out in those things. And I'll give you an example of a beautiful fairy doll that I inherited. It was porcelain and beautiful hair. It was a gorgeous fairy doll. And the first time I showed it to my daughter, and I think whatever was in it thought I was going to leave it there, and it actually screamed. And my daughter looked at me and said, "You're not leaving that here." So the first thing I did was have it blessed and clear it, but it tended to attract certain types of energies. And once I even found a mouse, a live mouse, sleeping on the lap of the fairy doll. And the fairy doll liked sitting in a window looking outside. I got that feeling. It's not like I decided that. And then one day I picked it up and it was pretty heavy. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm tired of dealing with a fairy doll. And I took it to a place where I know fairies reside. A lot of fairies like to reside by rivers. And I left the fairy doll there. But by the time I picked it up to put it in the forest there by the river, um, whatever was there left in the doll was light again. And most of you are looking like, yikes! I guess I'm so used to dealing with all of this and know how to handle it, that I'm not so freaked out. But anyway, stuffed toys, and you've seen many scary movies, haven't you? Where the subject is a puppet. Remember the Jack in the Box one? Ooh, that was scary. Puppets, dolls, stuffed toys, where things have gotten into them and they've created a horror story. So those movies are probably reflecting something, some experience someone had with those things. Again, they all can be cleared, and they do need to be checked every once in a while. So here are some of the things you should be aware of. Yeah, if you bring something home and all of a sudden you are starting to have a lot of strange occurrences, or there's a change in the energy in your home, and you're wondering why, and you think, oh, um, my friend came over, or I had an argument. Because most people are not oriented this way. They're not oriented to thinking this way. So you have to take them back and say, oh, well, did you bring something new or different in your home? Because sometimes it can come with a lot of a posse of things, right? And are you having sleeplessness and nightmares suddenly? And you didn't have them before, but you noticed it happened. We have to ask, did you bring something in your house that's different? Garage sales, I mean, we don't know why someone's having a garage sale. Maybe there's family strife. Maybe there's bankruptcies, maybe there's all kinds of things. Everything gets imprinted. We live in a world where everything is imprinted all the time. And sometimes those imprints are positive and sometimes they're not. And they can be cleared. All of this can be cleared. So if you bring something in the house and the room suddenly, the house gets cold, ah, that's not a good sign, actually. And that requires a deeper look at whether there's demonic energy in the house. Cold rooms, cold things are not good. Um, and so just be aware of the family members, our children having more nightmares or something happened. Your luck is changing. Look at what did I bring something in my house that could be open another doorway. Again, all of this can be cleared and sorted out. But a lot of you are not professional clearers. So, how can you help yourself a little bit? And one of the ways is when you're buying something, we are so connected. I just want to say, I don't know why I think of us as the human animal. We're just intelligent human animals. And what do we need to survive? So, as a healer, I kind of reduce us to that place so that I understand and stay in touch with who we really are and how we operate and what we need as this human animal. And when you think about it, the human being has what, 72,000 nadis, subtle nerves. We have subtle channels. We have subtle bodies. We are so connected. We're probably the most in tune, sensitive beings imaginable. And yet we use so little of it. Or we turn the volume down to such an extent that we don't use this gift that we have as human beings. Now, some of you are are amazing mediums and psychics, and some reason you came in and able to turn the volume up with some of the things that are already there for you to use. So when you go into a place and you're thrifting and you're garage selling and all of that, hold it. How do I feel when I pick this up? And I know almost everybody, if they go into a house that's full of these visitors, people will say, I don't like how that room feels, or I don't like that house doesn't feel good to me. And they'll use these words. But they don't attach it to something that's real. They just think, why do I feel that way? Maybe it's the paint or the furniture. Well, furniture could have things. But, think about, if you go to a garage sale and the person's having it because, there's strife or there's divorce or something, or people, mean spirited people, then, maybe some of that's in the stuff. So you want to clear it, right? Well, how do you clear these things? Well, professional clearers do it in a very systematic, precise way. We analyze what's there and we have a whole methodology. But for you, don't think a sage stick is enough. The sage stick is a blessing. I think of it as a blessing. And then when shamans or medicine people use it, they're using other things. They're using incantations and things that they know from their traditions that help clear. If you know those incantations and you're able to use them, have permission to use them, and you use sage, then it probably will work. But as a whole, the poor sage plant is almost becoming extinct because everybody thinks it will clear everything. And some people may disagree with me, and that's fine. I just want all the people who have used sage sticks to remember, how does your place feel afterwards? And it will lift the light somewhat, but it may return right back to its original state. So sage think of it as a blessing. You're blessing everything. And believe me, uh, we need more blessing in this world. Soap and water. Well, guess what? It'll just take away the dirt. So prayer. Prayer is this powerful intention, isn't it? And I've done exercises with people and demonstrated how prayer can change the light measurement of something. We used to pray over our food, increasing the light. So you can do an experiment. Some of you have light measurement charts. Pray over something, hold it and pray, and see the change, huge change in the light measurement. And if you think it's a dead person, say prayers in the way that you know to help that person move on. Otherwise, with all of this, call a professional clearer because they know how to do it perfectly. So, all of the things that I've talked about today is just to stretch you, to increase your awareness about the unseen world, and that you're surrounded by all kinds of things, good and bad, that we can't see or feel, even though we have the equipment to do it. We haven't learned to turn exactly the light bulb on. Some of you have. And this is another tool, your light measurement chart and your trusty pendulum, whatever you buy. If it's only, 1,000 to 11,000, it does need a clearing. If it's under 1,000, it may have something demonic. And I'm bringing up that word because it seems like nobody wants to talk about it. And yet, the Catholic Church has bursting at the seams with so many cases lately that they actually came out of the closet and said, okay, we do this. But you know what, folks? It is really bad. Anyway, if you have this, and if you don't want to know more about how to use the light measurement chart, I have a free webinar on dowsing, how to use your light measurement chart, how to use a witness, what is a witness. Just join my email list and you will get those free webinars. And so I just want to show you something, a treasure that I found before I close today. And I love talking about my work and professional clearing. And the students who take this year-long course, they love it too, because it's like being a private eye in a different way, right? So let me share this beautiful thing. Look at this. This is a beautiful prayer shawl. I bought this in Morocco in a antique shop. And when I first went in, I could feel this incredible energy in the shop, but I didn't know what it was. Again, use your sensory feel things out. And I just felt that maybe there were a lot of spiritual things in this shop. So the next day I returned to the shop and the owner was there, and he said, oh, I asked him, do you have a lot of religious things in this shop? And he said, yes, I'll show you. I said, no, I want to see if I can find it myself. So I was guided to a dark table, and in my consciousness said, there's a book. And yes, right on the table was a book. So I'm going to open it up. And I found this beautiful book. And I, for years, had no idea what this book was. But I treasured it. And I was guided to put a beautiful prayer shawl around it and a beautiful piece of cedar from Mecca. And it's always with it, these things. And this book tells me when someone needs the energy of this book. But later, many years later, I did find out what this book is, and it is a handwritten Quran. And of course, you start from the back to the front, and There are beautiful pictures inside where someone, I don't know if you can see, it's all done by hand. It's very, very precious, and because it's a sacred object, I take very, very good care of it. I'm sharing with you, and I'm sharing many blessings to all of you as I close today, and I send you love and many beautiful beings like angels in your home and in your energy field. So until my next Facebook Live, be peaceful, be happy, and blessings. Bye for now.